General Brown, distinguished guests, partners, and a lot of them here in the room, students. Your presence here demonstrates not only your leadership, but your commitment to our armed forces and inspires us all. So thank you very much, General Brown. It is a privilege here to stand before you today as we explore the exciting potential of a collaborative partnership between Houston Community College and the United States Army Futures Command. Here at HCC, our mission is basically to empower our diverse community through accessible and innovative educational opportunities that foster personal and professional growth and lead to real-world experiences. Our vision is basically to lead in workforce development, academic excellence, and ensuring that our programs meet the needs of industry and society. The mission closely aligns with Army Futures Command's goals of ensuring that our armed forces are equipped with the skills and knowledge necessary to meet contemporary and future challenges. By working on this establishment of an agreement with Army Futures Command, we aim to enhance our educational and workforce offerings, provide valuable resources that address the specific needs of the Army, our military personnel, and the communities that we serve. Our intent is clear: to create a synergistic partnership that fosters innovation, workforce development, and academic excellence in both military and civilian contexts. This potential collaboration will support Army Futures Command's overarching mission while also enriching the educational landscape here at HCC. The potential benefits of this partnership extend beyond our organizations. Together, we can cultivate a skilled workforce that not only meets the requirements of the Army of the United States of America, but also strengthens our local economies and enhances national security. By working hand in hand, HCC and Army Futures Command can create pathways for success that empower individuals and uplift communities. The presentations that you're going to see this morning showcase our capabilities and capacities to meet Army Futures Command's ever-evolving and dynamic requirements with tailored educational solutions, as well as innovative training programs. So, if your first time here in HCC, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, Lieutenant General Brown. I look forward to the impactful work that we can accomplish together for the benefit of our armed forces, our communities, and our nation. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Casa Mirna Trevino. I'd like to introduce Dr. Miguel Ramos, who's going to come up and do the welcoming remarks.
Good morning, good morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and distinguished members of our community, it is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you to Houston Community College today. I extend a heartfelt greeting to Lieutenant General Miles Brown, Command Sergeant Major Brian Hester, Command Chief Warrant Officer 5 Edwin de la Cruz, our dedicated Board of Trustees, valued community partners, and all dignitaries present. Your participation in this HCC Army Futures Command seminar marks a significant milestone in our collaborative journey, and we are grateful for your presence. As we gather here, I'm excited to introduce both organizations to each other and showcase the incredible capabilities and capacities that HCC has to offer. Our goal is not just to meet expectations, but to raise the bar with our commitment to innovation, education, and workforce development. We stand ready to demonstrate how HCC can be a vital partner in supporting the Army Future Command's mission. In aligning our strengths with the 9 cross-functional areas of the Army Futures Command, we are dedicated to fostering a seamless collaboration that addresses the evolving needs of the military, whether it's through enhanced technical training, research initiatives, or workforce development programs. HCC is poised to provide the necessary support to empower our warfighters and ensure their success. As you explore our vibrant city, I hope you take the opportunity to experience the unique culture and warmth that Houston has to offer. I encourage you to enjoy the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, a testament to our community's spirit and resilience. In closing, I want to reiterate our unwavering commitment to support the Army Futures Command's mission. Together, we can leverage our academic strengths and resources to enhance the capabilities of our military, ensuring that we not only meet the challenges of today, but are also preparing for the uncertainties of tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and welcome to Houston.
All right, so to kick this off, what we're going to do is a series of presentations. The first one being, Mr. Duran, where are you at? Mr. Ruben Duran, who runs basically the entire virtual reality program here at Houston Community College. Ruben?
Good morning. It is actually a pleasure and an honor to be here with you today. And today we're going to actually have a presentation that I would like you to know that we added a QR code so that you can have access to this presentation on your own. And the reason being is because we have so much to tell you, and I don't believe that I can do that in 10 minutes. So I want to welcome the Army Futures Command and want to also thank every one of you for your service. The actual best definition that I can tell you about the metaverse or virtual reality and augmented reality and the combination of is that it's the internet, but you are in it. And this is actually a definition that we all came together at Meta when they invited us to be part of their educational council in October. And the reason why is because it's all connected just like the internet is. And so when you are actually looking at augmented virtual reality and or mixed reality, we have an umbrella term for that we call the metaverse, okay? And the metaverse started at Houston Community College in what we now call the Reality Co-Lab, and this is for collaboration. We were the very first virtual reality lab of any educational institution, higher education institution in Texas. We began the process in 2015, and in 2016, we actually formed the lab. And now, as we actually at the Reality Co-Lab say, it has become a community of emerging technologies that is actually being recognized nationally. When it comes to communities, the way in which you think of the spaces where this community is actually behaving, you have to look at the way that the students are using the technology to be able to come up with these spaces. And as such, we can show you twins of the spaces that are being built at HCC at this very moment, but also we can bring you back to how this technology is actually being used in the Reality Co-Lab at this very moment in last semester, where you have students that are doing really wonderful things and upskilling themselves using this technology. So to give you a kind of like how this technology has evolved with us, when we began, there were not even controllers for the technology. A technology that was actually born out of the gaming industry, and now the evolution has taken it to pens, which is something that we have been using for a long time. You can actually at HCC use pens to interact with the technology instead of the game controllers, and of course hands as well. And so the technology is actually evolving very rapidly, and we are in some way trying to catch up and be also at the forefront so that we can engage our students and empower them as such. So to give you an example of how the metaverse and AI is actually used together at Houston Community College, this is a process that takes us in short, maybe 5 minutes after you have an idea what you want to build. And so AI creates a drawing of a chair that can then be textured in wood and also can be textured for 3D printing. But if you look at the sample to the corner, that is a 3D object that students in our metaverse class for interior designers are actually building using AI to bring into this metaverse that they're designing. So students are not only designing for commercial spaces, they're also designing for the metaverse at HCC. And another area that we actually are very strong is the area for visualizations and simulations, where the students in different areas such as HVAC are learning how to create the duct system of a building like this without having to come to the building. If you give them all the measurements, they are actually creating a prototype of that using simulation and visualization software. As such, we also have another prototype that is in some way what we call twins. And in these digital twins, we are actually creating campuses. And if you think how this can be used in the Army, it has an amazing potential. And we'll actually touch that in a second. From this twin is a project that is not just exists on the metaverse. This is a project that the students are actually using in classrooms to learn and create for these different buildings. And so it's actually a very organic project. As such, we are kind of like thinking, how do we work with you and how can we collaborate? And as such, when you think about twins and visualizations, you can easily know that the technology is there now to reproduce twins of different places on Earth, okay? And in these twins, you can have AI-powered digital humans, as we call them, and recreate scenarios before you are actually even planning to build something on a base that will train your soldiers. And this technology is actually being used at this moment by Stanford University, and they are collaborating with military groups there in California. Another technology that comes with that of the AI and the metaverse together is where you talk about, again, going back to digital humans. This particular digital human is something that we built for a delegation from France that visited the lab in the fall. And from this human, you are actually able to have conversations with digital human. And the conversation can actually go back and forth between the language. So we can begin a conversation in English, and then I can actually start asking to say things in Spanish. Or in this case, the avatar was asked questions in English, but we wanted them to say it back in French. I'm not able to show you this video, but I want you to have the presentation with you so that you can hear. It's pretty amazing, and we actually put this together in minutes. So really powerful. When it comes to how we had been eventually training pilots, if you were to say, from our airport, you will find that United has been using these simulation pods for a long time. And now, if you think about the cabin and so on, you are able to fit that into a VR headset, okay? And you're able to create simulation scenarios in which you can, of course, the wind and some other movements are not going to be there, but in VR, you can simulate very close to what eventually is actually happening in some of these technologies that we've been using for a long time, okay? So we think that from training to decision-making and so much more, this technology can be used, the metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, and in combination with AI, that it actually can be very beneficial to our U.S. armies, okay? I have other information there when it comes to looking at the course, some of the courses and how you can interact with many of the different programs and projects that we have worked on, so that you can take a look, go over this and have an idea of how we've been working with our faculty and how we've been engaging our students in creating this community that we mentioned, okay? Just a few of our collaborations, from HP to Meta to Skanska, one of the largest construction companies in the world, to, of course, our ISDs and so on and so forth. This is also something that is part of who we are. How do we work with our community? How do we work with the industry? And how do we engage our students to do and engage with them through internships and so on? And as such, I also have some links there for you to visit if you were to, including a link to our website. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you today. And if you have any questions at the end, once we finish, I'll be available and glad to have a conversation with you. Thank you so very much.
All right, real quick, a little bit of, everybody has at least one copy of this on their seat when they sat down. This QR code on the back allows you to actually get to this presentation that Mr. Duran just did, as well as see that English to Spanish conversion video for AI. So please take advantage of that. Take a look at that. I would be remiss if I didn't do something. And we were talking about this before I even started about doing the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you don't mind, I'm going to hit this late. Everybody, please stand. And if you will, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take your seats. And one more bit of administrative stuff. Myrna, you got to move your car. I'm going to guess that the license plate RMY 1887 belongs to... It's a gray Cadillac. So I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to move your vehicle or we're going to tow it. No, I'm just kidding. But please, when you get a chance, go move your vehicle. Next up is Mr. Samir Saber, who is the Dean for Digital Information Technology and the Director for Workforce Technology here at Houston Community College. Dr. Saber?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, well, this morning I get to get off my computer and just basically brag about our AI and cybersecurity programs. So I'm wondering, how many of you know that Houston Community College is a Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense? So it's a designation by the NSA, this little agency in the U.S., called National Security Agency. We've had it since 2017. You see the map here. We are the only community college in the region that has that. Besides U of H is of course a university. You have Sam Houston State University. San Jac just got theirs. San Jacinto, they're a good partner of ours. You have to go all the way to San Antonio. Austin doesn't have this either. You have to go all the way to San Antonio. That's where you have most of the schools for that. So a lot of our students go there. So yeah, we just got redesignated until 2028. It was even harder than the first time. So I'm very proud of that because it's not just about our faculty or community. It's the institution as a whole, the support, our students. So I'll get to brag a little bit about them, I think, next. Well, this slide is really just to show you how many students we have. You don't have to read this, but last year you could say we had 1,000 students studying cybersecurity. Close to 700 were doing their 2-year degree. This is really just showing you that the level 1 IT core is growing, meaning you have a lot of students that are looking to get into IT. Some of our students, can look over here. So many of our students do go to three-letter agencies. I'm not reflecting that here, but this is to show you how within a few years they've been able to move quickly. Chantry Shorter here, I like to always mention her. She actually just got a new position as a VP to PNC. She started out in 2019. As you can see, she moved up the ranks. Pedro Barros is another student of ours. He's now teaching. He's now a SANS researcher. Robert Ross was 2 students that were on the cohort with IBM X-Force alongside with 4 other Ivy League students. This never happens for a community college. They both work for IBM right now, just doing amazing work. So our placement rate is a little old, but we had 84% placement rate for these kinds of programs. Some of the unique things we've been doing, we did the largest AI red teaming exercise at DEF CON in 2023. So now I'll talk a little bit about AI. So we launched a 2-year degree in AS and AI in fall of 2020. This was during the pandemic. We had 45 students. We now have over 500. Yes. We also just launched the first bachelor's in AI and robotics in the nation in fall of 2023. We actually have our first graduating class this semester, so we're excited about that. It's going to be fun. So a lot of competitions we've been winning, including Intel's Global Impact Festival competition. So as you can see, the first year we were first place. We beat, I think it was 36 countries. We won nationals 3 times in a row. The most recent project is our superstar, Sumesh Surendran. He built a leukolens diagnosing cancer tool. Basically, the tool is able to find almost 100% accuracy on whether a child will get leukemia. We're gearing up for our AI conference. It's coming up. It's our 4th annual now. It's not a national conference thanks to our partners from Miami-Dade and Maricopa. I am looking for more AI and cybersecurity and space panelists, so if you know anyone, let me know. So companies that hire students, of course you can imagine all the big techs, but it's not just them, the small businesses, even the police academies, West University Police. I like to mention them because Chief Walker always had these ideas about AI, and he wanted an intern, and now the one student they has an intern just basically is working on 3 different projects that are AI related, and so my advice to everyone is take a chance. Some of our partners here. That's a long list. The nice thing about having these partners and being in Houston is we get to know what's about to come out before it even comes out to the market. So in higher ed, it's been nice to be able to do that. So what's our value proposition? I showed you the AI program, the cybersecurity program. We have over 7,000 students every year. Many of our workforce programs have a co-op as their final class. It's an option. They can do a capstone or a co-op. So they could intern. So you have a large talent pool. It's not just cybersecurity and AI. You have data science. You have cloud computing. And so on their final semester, you can have them as interns for 16 weeks. And they'll be on their way. So we do a lot of project-based initiatives too. So, my ask to any 3-letter agencies is, declassify something, let us have at it. The students are there, ready for it. Am I good on time? You're good. All right.
Let me add something real quick to Mr. Saber's presentation. We are, as soon as this is over, I'm starting a conversation with the Viceroy program, which will designate HCC as a virtual institute under the banner of Texas A&M. What that really means is that if you are interested in a future in cybersecurity, this program, the Viceroy program, will start to filter students through that pipeline. You guys in education call it pathways. Through that pipeline to eventually take cybersecurity jobs across the Department of Defense. All right, so if you are in that space, have that interest, spread the word, because that's where we're going. And if I'm lucky enough to get this done before the end of March, we'll be in that and be able to send students up to A&M to see actual live demonstrations of cybersecurity and show them all the different aspects and opportunities that are there. So again, thank you, Mr. Sabir. All right, next up, we have Dr. Jeffrey Steer, Engineering Department. He's going to talk specifically about our engineering programs here and how they relate to what we're doing here. Oh, by the way, I couldn't resist. Dr. Steer also has to be prior service enlisted Air Force and finished his career as a major in the Air Force at the Illinois Air National Guard. So.
He just knows what's coming. That's why he's trying to get a one-up on me. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Jeff Steer. I'm the Engineering Program Director and Department Chair for the Engineering Center of Excellence here at Houston Community College. I'm a professional engineer with 34 years of industry experience and now 11 years in education. I did serve in the U.S. Air Force, Illinois Air National Guard. I retired as a major. I was referred to in the military as what they call a Mustang, which means what he described. First part of my career was enlisted, second part was commission. Even with that and my doctorate and everything else, I still can't get this guy to acknowledge what I like to describe my rank as an EO 10. That doesn't work for some reason. So anyway, you have to be military. Okay. It's on me then. Okay, thank you. Okay. So the Engineering Center of Excellence at HCC has 3,125 students, right? This makes it the third largest engineering technology program in Texas, behind only Texas A&M and the University of Texas. Very distinctive. Our job at HCC is to provide students with the foundational elements of the courses that they're going to need to transfer to a four-year institution and complete their engineering degree. That's our sole job. To achieve this objective for us, we use a hands-on experiential learning program that basically consists of math, science, core classes, with the focus, while our program will allow a student to transfer into any engineering discipline, we focus on the civil, mechanical, electrical, computer, and chemical engineering programs. We have a specific curriculum that's set aside for those. We're located at 6 campuses. We offer classes at 6 campuses across Houston, but we offer all of our classes at 4. We have 4 kind of power centers in Houston. Katy, Spring Branch, Praga, and of course, Alief Hayes is our main area. So the real strength of our program is our strategic partnerships, right? And that's why we have over 3,000 students. We have strategic partnerships with Texas A&M, University of Houston, and UT Tyler. These programs are set up so that the UT Tyler and the Texas A&M programs are set up in what we call a co-enrollment format. What we mean by co-enrollment is students have to be accepted by A&M. They're automatically accepted by A&M, or by HCC, but they're co-enrolled and they're in both programs at the same time. The benefit to the students of that is that when they complete the academy program, they don't have to go through the difficult transition or the difficult transfer process, as typically most community college students have had to do. They go through what we call a transition. They just start going to classes at Bryan College Station or at the main campuses at U of H. So it's a much better transition. It's easier for them. A&M, we bring in 150 students actually a year. The size of the program is at any one time is closer to 250 students. The reason it's only 250 is because the Texas A&M program is so effective that a lot of our students transfer after just 1 year, or transition, I should say, after just 1 year. So it's had an incredible level of success. Overall, in terms of the completions of those students, over 86% of the students that come to go to A&M from HCC graduate with a four-year engineering degree. That's actually slightly higher than their overall average for engineering degrees. So it's very distinctive. Our students do a great job. They save money. They save $40,000 because for those first 2 years, they're only paying tuition for A&M for their engineering classes. Their engineering classes are taught by A&M faculty, but they're taught on HCC campus, right? A&M classes, A&M faculty, HCC campus. What that means, though, is all the other courses are taught at HCC, which is about 25% of the cost, right? Plus, those students get to stay in Houston. They don't have to pay to live on the Bryan College Station campus. So it's a huge benefit to them. U of H, the A&M program started in about 2015. U of H finally caught on in 2020. Hope there's no Cougars. I'm going to make math. But U of H actually, I just got some updated data the other day. U of H, we currently have 28 or 88 students. I wasn't sure how many we had at Katy. We have 88 students in the program. The U of H savings isn't as great, but the overall cost is lower than the A&M because it is in town. In terms of completions and performance, again, I just got some data yesterday. It's a little bit of, it's a mixed bag. When we first started the U of H program in 2020, that first cohort, only 26% of those students made the transition, which is difficult. We had 23 students. We ended up with 6 that transferred to that transitioned to U of H, but all 100% of those students graduated with their engineering degree, and that transition rate from 2000 to today is 86%. So that transition rate has improved markedly, and we anticipate that completion rate is also going to stay very high. The co-enrollment program is U of H is exactly the same as I described at A&M, only they're taking U of H engineering classes with U of H faculty on our campus. Okay. The third program that makes us so strong is our UT Tyler program. UT Tyler actually established the very first strategic partnership with us back in 2013. They came to us and they said, listen, we think you guys have a great program. We have always had a very large engineering program, but they said, we would like for you, if you would be willing to massage your associate's program just a little bit, which we call our Associate of Science and Engineering Science, we will use that as the first 2 years of our engineering degrees. And we'll, not only that, but we'll send our faculty to Houston. So we'll set up a UT Tyler satellite program in Houston where your students can complete a 4-year engineering degree on your campus. To our knowledge, it's the least expensive engineering program in the country, just around $30,000 for all 4 years. That's basically what you're going to spend in a year at A&M. So it's an incredibly good program. It's at $30,000. That program has graduated approximately 1,000 students since 2013. 1,000 engineers, I should say, since 2013. It's a great program. We refer to this program, we're going to start a concurrent enrollment. One of the most important things about a strategic partnership, the part that really works for students, is those 4-year universities get to touch and interact and get to develop an ownership, a sense of ownership and relationship with those students. So UT Tyler, because it was a second-year program and less involvement in the first 2 years, we learned from the other academies, and we're doing a concurrent program where now the UT Tyler faculty are going to start teaching the first 2-year programs with their faculty on the U of H HCC campus, HCC courses. So we believe it's going to continue to dramatically improve the performance of the program and the number of students that we serve. Yes, sir. The application process is more difficult, actually, than just applying to the colleges, because you do have to apply to both. In the case of UH, you have to apply to U of H, you apply to HCC, but the application to HCC is kind of automatic, right? But then you also have to apply to the academy, right? The student fills out an application to U of H, because in order to join the academy, you have to be accepted by U of H as a student. The great thing about the U of H Academy in Engineering is that you don't have to be accepted as an engineering student. You just have to be accepted as a general student to U of H. Correct. That's true. Right. Yeah, A&M's a total, as you know. UT Tyler, UT Tyler does a general application, but remember, UT Tyler kicks in after they've completed their first 2 years. UT Tyler. It just says UT Tyler on it. I'm sorry? Yeah, even if they go to the Ailey Phase campus, it'll still say UT Tyler. The 4-year on campus is the classic civil, mechanical, electrical. We just added computer about 2 years ago, and they're talking to us about chemical possibly in a couple of years. We also have a construction management program with UT Tyler. We actually do some, we do a lot of research. We actually have a brand new grants program that we're doing with Rice. Rice and HCC, we're trying to work together and figure out how we maneuver with some of the new changes that are going on. Rice being private and us being a state program. We do a lot with Rice in terms of summer programs. They love our health sciences pre-med program. They like to pull students out of that. On the engineering side, Rice doesn't have a huge engineering program. They've got a distinctive engineering program. Rice has a great program similar to our Eagle program, where they adjust students' tuition to the income of themselves and their parents, but they have very high standards, probably higher than A&M actually, just because of the limited capacity to the program. Oh yeah, they do. And material science is where we really do a lot of our research. U of H and Rice are actually pretty much connected. It's almost the same material science program because there's so many that go back and forth. But we actually had, when I first started here at HCC, we actually had a Reams degree. It's research experiences for, I can't remember what the other stand, but basically with summer research experiences for community college engineering students to sit with the Rice research. We put 10 or 15 students every summer into that program. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, other transfer partners, of course, we're still community college. The programs that I just mentioned are strategic partnerships. They have MOUs, they go beyond the classic articulation agreement that spells out how a student may transfer from HCC to those programs, but we still do a lot of that, right? We have a 6 or 7 program. We actually have 7 programs now with partners, local partners like UH Clear Lake, Prairie View, Lamar, UH Downtown, Angelo State, Texas Southern, Sam Houston State University, and a lot of these programs also offer engineering technology programs in addition to the engineering that we talked about a minute ago. As Bob stated, our intent is to demonstrate that Houston Community College is committed to establishing a collaborative agreement with U.S. Army Futures Command to enhance our educational and workforce offerings that align with and bring value-added resources to the evolving needs of our armed forces and the communities we serve. Our overall goal is to create a synergistic partnership that fosters innovation, workforce development, and academic excellence in the military and civilian contexts. The specific value-added proposition that we would like to talk about, that we want to present from the engineering perspective, is to promote the 9 cross-functional areas of the U.S. Army Futures Command, promote those to our engineering students at an earlier stage, right, when they're young, and to a broader audience. A major difference between the student population at A&M and the student population here is we have a very high percentage of non-traditional students, right? If you got out of high school, weren't sure what you want to do, or you had to get a job, 5-10 years later, you start a family, and you now decide, hey, I want to provide more for my family, I want to go further in life. Those are the students that come to HCC and that are very successful because they figured out what they want to do and do it well. We have a lot broader range of students, and we can bring that to Army Futures Command to be able to provide a varied pool of prospective officer and enlisted personnel. And because of our strategic partnership, the HCC Engineering Center of Excellence possesses higher transfer and completion rates because of those strategic partnerships with obviously the best engineering programs in Texas. So what does a collaboration look like? What does some of the potential collaborations look like? What I thought about is perhaps future collaborations between the engineering program at HCC and the Army Futures Command could offer military concentrated coursework, hands-on training, and industry partnerships through specialized elements of existing academy programs, to produce military engineers and industry engineers that can support the entire range of the Army Futures Command missions. I also want to just mention, similar to what Ruben talked about, we have a tremendous number of innovation makerspace labs through all of our campuses, and we have dozens and dozens of 3D printers and similar technologies, digital fabrication technologies, that offer in a variety of sizes and materials, filaments, and all that kind of thing. But we believe that specialization in that technology will help prepare our students for not just additive manufacturing jobs that are going to be very important to future weapon systems and advancement of the efficiency and effectiveness of weapon systems, but also give our students experience with 3D printers, even as to support battlefield resupply. So anyway, those are some of the things that we'd like to do. Appreciate your time. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Yeah, as we're going through this, I keep on getting dinged on certain issues. So here's the first one. I introduced all of our college presidents that are present here today to Lieutenant General Brown. However, some of you don't know who they are, so let me take care of that right now. And if you would, please stand up when I call your name. Dr. Jerome Drain is the president of Online College here at Houston Community College. Dr. Latricia Harrison is the president of Coleman College for Health Sciences. Dr. Michael Webster is the president of Southwest College. Dr. Francis Villagrán Glover is the president of Southeast College. This is one of the rare times that you will see both of us in the same room at the same time, because we try to do this firewall thing where we're not even communicating with each other, so it keeps us both out of trouble. Next up is me, because I'm going to talk about global energy. The presenter for this is swamped, so I'm taking over for Mr. Homer Stewart in this case. So, having said that, disregard the title there, but if you don't know, I'm Robert Glover. I'm the Interim Executive Director for Military Education Programs here at HCC. We're going to talk about how global energy, COE, the Center of Excellence, has a breakdown, whether it's industrial technology and engineering, petroleum engineering technology, process technology, electronic engineering technology, as well as instrumentation control engineering technology. How does this all blend? Critical Army specialties, occupational specialties, MOSs, military occupational specialties in power engineering technology include electrical power production, cyber electrical systems, smart grid management, alternative energy development. All of these things that are requirements in the Army are also things that we do here at HCC in our power engineering technology programs. Army Futures Command, if you did not know this, their mission: ensure that the Army is at the forefront of technological innovation and warfighting ability, to develop concepts, research, and requirements for future operations, and to create an estimate of the future operational environment. How they do that? Working with universities, industry, multinational experts, training soldiers and civilians on cloud technology and software, and helping soldiers access cutting-edge technology. The overall goal is to improve warfighting capabilities and abilities and make the Army more adaptable, flexible, and lethal. Now, this is the Marine Corps jab at the Army of the United States of America. Following the MAGTF, the Marine Air Ground Task Force piece, trying to get smarter, faster, lighter, more effective, increasing combat power, and doing the things that win battles and actually win wars. Yes, sir. Oh, see, I knew you were going to throw that one in there. I got it. Absolutely, absolutely. Little factoid there. Although the Marine Corps is an expeditionary force and we do everything over by the sea, the Army is the largest amphibious capable force in the world, and they predate the Marine Corps' mission. In terms of how we can collaborate and work with you, all of the things that we're talking about today, as well as other things within our sphere of influence and the things that we offer educationally, air and missile defense, all domain sensing, future vertical lift, long-range precision fires, we can enhance or help out in all of those different cross-functional areas that Army Futures Command does. And you're going to hear a brief presentation from yeah, they didn't hear you, sir.
Unmanned, so I'm good. If you want me to present, I'll be glad to. I wasn't on the docket.
We're recording, so we can't hear you downstairs.
So the value-added proposition here is that we are dedicated to enhancing those capabilities within Army Futures Command by providing specialized educational programs in critical occupational specialties such as power engineering technology and engineering systems engineering. And you're going to see throughout the remainder of the presentations the value-added proposition that we're trying to bring to show you, to demonstrate to you what it is HCC can do for and with Army Futures Command. And together we believe that we can prepare a skilled workforce that meets the evolving demands of military operations as well as supports the national security objectives. So that part of the global energy piece is gone. I'm now going to turn it over to Dr. Alberto Urbina, who's going to discuss smart manufacturing. Dr. Urbina also happens to be the Vice President for Student Services and Instruction at Houston Community College, Southeast College.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present about the great training that we offer here at Houston Community College in manufacturing. My name is Alberto Urbina, and I have the privilege of serving as the Vice President of the Southeast College for Instruction and Student Services. I've been with the college going on 8 years. I'm a former welder by training and welding engineer. Excuse me, I said that backwards. Welder by trade and welding engineer by training. So all things manufacturing, I'm just, I tell my boss, which is here today, that I'm just a kid in a candy store getting to work with all the great manufacturing programs that we offer here at Houston Community College. Just to set some context to the information that I'm going to share with you all today, the governor's office publishes economic data for the state of Texas, and as of 2022, the gross domestic product for Texas was $2.4 trillion. The Gulf Coast region, which encompasses the 9 surrounding counties here in the region, had a GDP that same year of $640 billion. And most of those goods and services required some form of manufacturing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is manufacturing is kind of a big deal here in Texas, and we have a lot of great programs here at Houston Community College to train current folks in the manufacturing industry and folks that want to get into the manufacturing industry. So we offer quite a bit of different manufacturing-related training. We offer a welding technology program that I'm going to share a little bit more about here in a little bit. We're one of the few institutions in the region that also offers a welding automation, which is robotic welding. So we train current welders and we train technicians to be able to operate different CNC equipment, computer numeric control, that's also robotic controlled. So we are keeping with the manufacturing industry as far as being able to train those highly level welders and technicians. We're also, this is something I'm very proud of, is we're one of the few institutions that still teaches manual machining. Okay, most training providers have switched over to just computer numeric control machining, which is great if you have thousands of parts to machine. But if you just need one part or two parts, manual machining is still the way to go, and we still have a very robust program related to manual machining. As far as CNC, we do both parts of the CNC training. So we provide CNC programming, which is using some type of software to develop a 3D model and be able to generate the G code to then be able to take to the machine. And we also train on the operation side, which is using a program that has already been fully developed and being able to operate some type of CNC equipment to cut the respective part. We also teach 3D printing or additive manufacturing. Right now, we focus mostly on polymer printing. We currently don't have a 3D metal printer, but we are looking to get one. But we currently just focus on the different polymers and the different types of additive manufacturing. We also teach non-destructive testing, NDT and NDE. So the 6 major types of NDT methods are ultrasonic testing, eddy current, magnetic particle, dye penetrant, visual testing, and radiography. Okay, so we teach all of those. On the radiography side, we also teach radiation safety to make sure that folks understand the safety related to dealing with a live source of radiation. We also include a welding metallurgy as part of our associate's degree, so it's very important that anyone that's going into any type of manufacturing, whether machining or welding, are familiar with the different types of metals and really what characterizes different metals and the mechanical and chemical properties associated with the metal. But more importantly, how is it that a manufacturing process changes those mechanical properties that are in the steel? We also teach pipe fitting. So pipe fitting is the fabrication of mechanical systems, of piping systems. It's not really the welding per se. It's more of being able to interpret the isometric drawing and then using different fittings, tools to cut the pipe to length and being able to run pipe and get it ready for the welder. And then lastly, we also teach sheet metal fabrication, which is really the fabrication of ductwork, and anything that's made out of materials that are less than 1/8 of an inch thick is really considered sheet metal fabrication. So so all of our programs are industry credentialed, and we provide third-party credentials for each one of our respective programs. So starting off with our manufacturing, we partner with the Manufacturing Skills Standards Council. We're actually a regional training provider for them, not just for our students, but for instructors in Texas that want to achieve their own certification so that they can deliver the MSSC curriculum. On the machining side, we partner with the National Institutes of Metalworking Skills, or NIMS, and we use their curriculum, and we provide students third-party credentials in each one of those respective areas. For pipe fitting, we partner with the National Center for Construction Education and Research. Here locally, we also partner with ABC, which is the Associated Builders and Contractors of Greater Houston, and they're the ones that sponsor our training with NCCER. For non-destructive testing, we follow the standards and curriculum from the American Society for Non-Destructive Testing, or ASNT, and we follow their S&T TC1A curriculum that allows the graduates to be able to achieve their level 1 or level 2 NDT method certification in industry. And then lastly, for our sheet metal, we also partner with NCCER, and we follow their curriculum. Students are able to achieve their credentials through them. So what's the advantage? Well, our students all participate in hands-on activities. Okay, I would say on average, 80 to 85% of the time that a student spends in one of these programs is hands-on. So they gain that practical experience. We also have a dress code for our students. So our students have to show up to class ready to go to work. And we provide students with a blue kind of work shirt that they have to wear on a daily basis. And these are the different certifications that students are able to achieve if they successfully complete all the coursework for them to be able to get awarded that. So the credentials come from the accreditation bodies that we partner with. So It's either from the American Welding Society, from NIMS, from MSSC, from ASNT, or from NCCER. Our students are able to achieve those credentials, and we give them copies of their credentials. And some of them also have a national registry where employers can log in, and if the student or the graduate provides them with their unique number, the employers are able to verify that the student, in fact, does have that credential. These are the different locations across the city of Houston that we offer manufacturing training. So all the way down to the Stafford campus, kind of in Southwest Houston, to the Central campus, which is not too far from here, to my home campus, Southeast, which is kind of the gateway to Houston, right here off 45 and 610, coming in from the Ship Channel and the large concentrations of gas refineries and chemical plants there, all the way to the A-Leaf Bissonnette campus, north side of Houston, North Forest. So we're pretty much spread out throughout the city of Houston, being able to provide manufacturing and welding training. So this is my favorite part and my favorite slides, because I get to show off all of the really neat equipment that the college has related to manufacturing. So on the far left, those are our Skills Boss trainers, and those are used to train students on mechanical troubleshooting. Okay, so there's over 100 different flaws that the instructor can place on those MSSC trainers, and the students using the theory and the previous training from the classroom that they have received, students have to troubleshoot what's wrong with those mechanical trainers. Right underneath that is something I'm very proud of, is our 5-axis machine. So this is a 5-axis CNC mill. It's the latest and greatest as far as technology in the machining industry, and can machine very, very kind of intricate parts that normally would require a lot more machining time. This machine can do it all by itself. In the center there is one of our manual mills that we use for the manual training. So again, one of the few institutions in the region that still has a full-blown manual machining program, and the center picture there kind of highlights the manual equipment that we use to train students. We promote a safe, clean work environment, and as you can see from the pictures, we try to maintain a very high level of neatness there. On the far right, we have our FANUC robot, so that's part of our manufacturing and our welding automation. Students learn how to program FANUC robots, which is considered an industrial robot. And in the next picture, I have the cobot, and I'll kind of share a little bit the difference between an industrial robot that requires safeguards to the latest technology in automation, which is a collaborative robot, and I'll share that in a minute. And then the last picture on the far, I guess, right bottom is our CNC lathe. So that allows students to take their program that they've developed and then download it to the controller that you see on the machine and be able to do a few more setups, and then they're able to run and cut their part. Okay, on the welding side, we normally use Miller and Lincoln Products. Those are the two biggest manufacturers of welding equipment in the United States and really globally. But the machine that's on the far, I guess, left is our welding machine. It's an XMT 350. It allows for multi-process welding, so stick, MIG, TIG, flux core, which are normally the most manual welding processes that are used. And I know a lot of the shipyards in the region also use those for construction. In the center is our collaborative robot. So like I was mentioning, there's a difference between industrial robots that require a lot of safety guards. As you see, this robot does not have the side shield because it's considered a collaborative robot or a cobot that is specifically designed to work alongside a human welder. So because of that, it doesn't have all those safeguards. It does have a programming screen that requires still some programming, and we show students how to program those robots. So now, the latest trend is for human welders to be working alongside these collaborative robots to increase efficiency and to increase productivity. And then on the far right is on the far right is our industrial welding robot that does require the guards because it's kind of an old school robot, but a lot of companies still use the industrial robots for their machining and welding and manufacturing processes. Now, related to non-destructive testing, like I mentioned, we teach the 6 most common methods. So the far left scope there, we use All Olympus, which is the industry standard. On the far left, we have the eddy current scope, and we go through the theory of eddy current, and we also do quite a few labs for the students to be able to see. In the center there, we're one of the few institutions in the region that has a 3-dimensional UT machine to be able to see inside of the material in real life and see if there's any flaws or indications inside a piece of metal or inside of a machine product or inside of a weld. On the far right is our the ultrasonic equipment that we use, again, Olympus. We also teach visual testing, so all the tools on the far left bottom, that's all visual testing using the fillet weld gauges, the tape measures, and things like that. And then we also use magnetic particle testing, which is the portable yoke that's on the far right. So again, just a lot of hands-on that the students get. They're able to go through different exercises and different labs to be able to get really comfortable with the equipment, calibrating the equipment, and being able to use it. We have a very lively student engagement for our students. We participate in Skills USA, which Skills USA is a national career and technical student organization. Just recently, we hosted the District 8 Skills USA welding, machining, and manufacturing competitions. And now our college students are getting ready to go down to Corpus Christi to participate in the post-secondary Skills USA. So this allows them an opportunity to practice their skills in a kind of friendly competition, and the students who place first, second, or third then are able to go to the National Skills USA competition, which is going to be held in Georgia this year, and represent the state of Texas within their respective disciplines. So just a lot of engaging things. We also host Manufacturing Day event. So this past year was the 5th year that we hosted National Manufacturing Day. It's usually the first Friday in October. So we try and get students really engaged with the manufacturing industry and just seeing how everything really kind of goes together from engineering design to manufacturing to testing to then being able to use and apply the product that they used. Okay, so the value proposition is that we have great training programs here at Houston Community College, and we know that the skills and knowledge that the students are gaining in these programs are great for the U.S. Army Futures Command mission and can really contribute to the needs of the program. By integrating advanced technologies like automation and robotics, like I shared, we're providing the local community and really the region and the state with highly trained individuals that are ready to go to work day one, being able to use all of the latest and greatest equipment that the manufacturing industry is using. Now, part of that too is not just technical training, but also critical thinking. Okay, we throw a lot of different projects to the students. There's troubleshooting that they have to do. There's some design work that they have to do. And we know that all of this is really going to enhance the Army's operational effectiveness and readiness so that our graduates, they're able to troubleshoot from day one. So through strategic partnerships with industry leaders and military organizations, HCC ensures that the graduates are ready to meet the evolving demands of the Army, fostering a future where advanced manufacturing capabilities can contribute to the national security and defense initiatives. And currently we partner with aerospace companies, we partner with oil and gas companies. We just started an apprenticeship program just yesterday with the medical manufacturers. So we have a lot of great partnerships. So just look forward to being able to possibly partner with the Army's future and be able to get our students into y'all's program. Thank you.
Okay, before we continue on, and we're a little bit ahead of schedule, I need to identify a couple of people. And ladies, we have seats up front for you. So first of all is our current board chair, Ms. Eva Laredo. Please stand. And our trustee for District 9, Dr. Greta Van Dibble Stallworth. And again, trustees, please come on up. And we saved these spaces for you, so come on up. Well, it's kind of hard. Next up is Ms. Sherry Carter, who is the Faculty Division Chair for HCC Logistics Operation and retired Lieutenant Colonel, United States Army.
Good morning. It's Red Friday. Appreciate those veterans and all of you that are serving in the United States Army. We appreciate you greatly. So, good morning, Lieutenant Colonel Brown, Sergeant Major Hester, staff, and HCC colleagues. Sherry Carter had a great introduction. My previous chapter in life, I went through the military. I served in the National Guard. I served in the reserves, and I also did 9 years of active duty service. So my service has been Army Material Command, Army Sustainment Command, and the beginning of the Army Field Support Brigades. And so my deployment was in Afghanistan for 14 years with the AFSB forward. And so you can kind of understand that this is where I come now with my second chapter. My second chapter is the passion of logistics and global supply chain. So with that, I'm the department chair. And my president, Dr. Villagrain Glover's here. Dr. Urbina, you just heard from, he's our vice president. The program overview is, let's talk about these areas, the academic education pathways. Where have we been, where are we now, and where do we want to go to in the future? I have a big vision for HCC College in this department. Apprenticeship programs show you where we are, what my goal is, and where we are today. Industry certification, certificates, military education pathways, and then, of course, our value proposition to Futures Command. All right, so we currently have 339 students and growing. We have another session coming up after spring break, and I'm already seeing the numbers grow greatly. So we're pretty excited about that, and it's all about growth for us as well. So with that, we have 2 academic degrees. We have the Logistics Global Supply Chain Management 2-year degree. We also have a concentration degree. That's all about maritime logistics and transportation. You just heard Dr. Urbina mention how much gross domestic product we have at that 2.4 trillion. So you can imagine how big logistics and global supply chain is, right? And with that, I'll just share with everybody, we have 3 certificates currently and growing. We have a couple in development that we're currently working on per our advisory board members that are giving us that feedback and telling us which direction and where we need to go to have the right technical certificates here at the college. So the ratio of academic classes for our credential of values, we have currently 65% in our inventory that will have the credentials of values of industry certificates and certifications. That's what the advisory board is giving us that guidance. We want to see those certifications. So you can see them on the chart here. I did a little neat military legend for you all and what that means in terms of development and phasing. So we're phasing those in. We currently have some that are actually in our courses right now, and have a future plan of phase 2 and phase 3 and where they're going. So you can see how all of our courses now are very tailored and going to have the certified supply chain professional certificates embedded. Okay, let's talk about supply chain 4.0. It's all about technology. And everyone's in the technology space. So you've heard from my previous colleagues about artificial intelligence. And so in those elements and areas of the supply chain 4.0, you can see where we're embarking. And we continue to have it on our planning that we're going to continue to build around the 4.0. So blockchain, we're doing smart contracts. There's a lot of digitalization of happening in the technology space. Artificial intelligence, we're getting more heavily into that. I just spoke to the previous dean about let's get together with artificial intelligence. Let's lean a little bit more into our courses so we can have more artificial intelligence in some of the courses. But we're in the piloting phase on that. Digital twins, virtual reality. We currently do have virtual reality in the Southeast College campus. So students get to put on those VR headsets and they actually get to feel like they're in a warehouse and they're in a distribution center and they're actually standing at a port and they're actually being able to feel what it could be like to be there and actually do the processes. Okay? Transportation management system, the software technology center, that is a vision of ours to build a technology center where we can have the TMS, the WMS in our programs as well. Now, for the robotic and automation, we currently did a JET grant, hoping that that'll bring us the Smart Logistics Warehouse Distribution Center at Southeast College campus, where our students will really get to step in and be able to experience what that automation is, whether it's a software system or physically doing it inside of that center. So it's pretty exciting. Cloud logistics, we're probably all using it and not really thinking about how much we're using the cloud, but we are. And we are using it very heavily in what we call business simulation, from doing acquisition, logistics, supply chain, all the way through the enterprise resource planning system. Okay? So we actually use SAP ERP, and we actually do simulations in our classes with our students. And we actually just put it into our youth, K through 12, Port Houston, Logistics Expo this year, and they absolutely loved it. And they're asking for more. So that's pretty exciting. Big data, that ERP system, that business intelligence that you can pull from these software systems is quite amazing. It's telling people, as Ineos supply chain manager shared with me one time, he said, believe it or not, it can tell you how to turn the corner before you get there. So it's just quite amazing with big data analytics what we can do, and we want to continue to put that into our courses, so we're teaching our students what is big data and how do we use it, and how do we use it best to be able to make the changes across logistics, 5 modes of transportation, the multimodal, what's happening in our services, and of course what we call the supply chain, which is everything from developing a product and doing the acquisition through every single function to getting it from, the purchasing of the product and manufacturing it and getting it where it needs to go, when it needs to go, and how it needs to get there at the right time and the right quality with the right people, right? And so that's what we're doing there. And then here's just a little understanding of, we're really leaning into how can we partner with non-credit? A lot of military individuals, come out with a military occupational skill, but often want to change. And then also individuals in the workplace like to change as well. So we're embarking on a lot of discussion with Business CE to come up with standalone courses and be able to have standalone courses that are actually prior learning credit that'll actually then come into the credit side. And so that individual then just keeps building. Okay? Just a good fact finding for you all, for some of you that may know, the Army Logistics University, and I know that the Air Force has embarked on this too, because we've had some military individuals actually come to us and say, can I test? So we are a veterans-friendly partnership. And so if you take the Manufacturing Skills Standard Council and those service members need to certify and take the exam, we actually provide it to them. So we've went and worked that through all the testing services and what have not. So when they come and they say, I've taken Certified Logistics Associate, now I'm ready for a Certified Logistics Technician, then we take care of those students and make sure they get tested. So if they're on leave or they're, just happen to be in the reserves, we are the education center that can help them get certified. So it's pretty exciting. So you can see the 3 current pathways that Business CE has. And they all are the prior learning credit that go into the credit side of us. I mentioned the certificates that we currently have. Then we have a level 2, and we're also having a deep discussion and development on the medical supply chain certificate as well. Okay. And then, of course, you see the 2 degrees that we have, and also the transfer options. It's all about getting that student in, getting them where they want to be, when they want to be, and how they want to be, and bridging that 4-year institution. And so we're having lots of further discussions with the 4-year of how we can build that into that bridging of the students. So then that way we're doing a nice handoff right now currently with TSU, and it's working really, really well. So, and then of course for development discussion, we currently have a bachelor's of logistics, science of logistics more so, and we're still kind of determining what that's going to look like. But we're talking and leaning into possible logistics engineering. Okay, so one of our goals in the department since January 2023 was let's bring apprenticeships. You know, a student gets to come and get education, and then they also work and do that work-based learning at the same time they're doing their education, but they're also getting paid. And so you're constantly recalling what you're learning in the classroom and what you're doing actually at that company. We're getting amazing feedback. We currently have 3 freight forwarding apprenticeships, and these are the companies that we have those apprenticeships with. Fraught Group is a 2-year freight forwarding apprenticeship. We have an apprenticeship for freight forwarding with Jazz, and we just signed on with Herman Logistics for international freight forwarding, and that'll be a 2-year program. Okay. So here comes the value proposition. So the value proposition for the U.S. Army Futures Command is for us to embark on a partnership and have you join our advisory board, but do a partnership where we could actually teach the Department of Defense 0346 Level 1 certificate. So Defense Acquisition University, if you've got individuals in certain military occupational skills, they can actually sign up with that partner agreement in your professional military education, that they can actually embark on this DAU education, and we're saying we're willing to develop, and we're here prepared to develop that certificate with you all. The power of educating our forces, your forces, our forces, at the younger age, even in the National Guard and the reserves, is I think an untapped area. We do have some education that students do on their own, but if there was a little bit more maybe structural PMI or, you know, PME that can be with some of these younger generation students that, you know, might be a transporter, might be a material specialist, but they don't know what's next. And so having this type of certificate could be the perfect bridge to have those students say, you know what, I want acquisition logistics. And there's just so many areas you can go in acquisition logistics. And so that's the one proposition that I have for today. Also, building out a 2-year degree. Defense Acquisition University has one, but looking at the fruits of actually asking them to partner with an MOU to actually have a 2-year degree. It lines almost perfectly that it's a 2-year degree, a credit. So that would be very valuable to be able to do that. The next thing is we're having discussions and development thoughts and feelings about the logistics, industrial logistics engineer. You know, when you look at the forces of the Army Engineer Corps and you look at how we're structured, Department of Defense and the military services with our logistics officers, this might be something that would be fabulous for the rapid acquisition folks. That, you know, they come and they say, you know, I really want to get into engineers, but I like logistics as well. And so this is actually bringing both of them together. Okay. I've been having lots of discussions with the Department of Energy and a lot of other multidisciplines We have an educator that just came on board from the Department of Energy, and he's one of our adjuncts, and we were having a lot of discussion about this concept. And so we're going to continue to have conversation about it. I think it's something worth discussion. The next one is looking at that partnership for Teaching Defense Logistics Agency. A part of my strategic service, I served 6 years at the Defense Logistics Agency, and I think that it's really good to have that strategic power, logistics knowledge. What are they doing for us, and what are they doing for us in the forward, right? But also the Lifecycle Product Support Manager certificate could be another option. So there's a lot of options I'm kind of throwing out here. But also we could teach in the military services, what is Army Material Command? What is Army Sustainment Command? And what are those Army Field Support Brigades? Because obviously they are our power projection when it comes to, getting materials where they need to be, when they need to be, but also building up the AOR, which is, that area of operations, right? Lieutenant General Brown, you kind of said that earlier. I think I heard you just a little bit. What the Army really does and how we're so powerful and how we come into a theater of operations and really lay down the structure to make sure that our people are supported in that combat mission. And so those are the value proposition options that I wanted to bring to you today. And we are prepared to partner with U.S. Army Futures Command with your future education. So, yeah. Do you have any questions? None? I know that was an awful lot, but I've got big visions and good ideas and stuff for HCC. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay, Doug, before we get to the last presentation, everybody take a deep sigh of relief. I need you to do one last set of introductions. First of all, representing the Army of the United States of America, Colonel Julian Perez, who is the 5th Brigade Recruiting Command. Lieutenant Colonel Reyes Sanchez, who is the Houston Recruiting Battalion CO. In the back there, Major General retired United States Army Rick Noriega. Francis Castaneda Dias, who is the chairman and president of the East End Chamber of Commerce. Tricia Stetzel, who is here representing the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Jessica Del Greco, here representing the Houston Chamber of Commerce Office of Business Opportunities. Additionally, Wendy Lojo, representing State Senator Huffman. And that will do it. Now, here we go. It's going to get loud. I know it will. Representing Houston Community College, Coleman College for Health Sciences, Dr. Mohammed Talas.
Good morning. Lieutenant Colonel Hammer, thank you for today's this morning for this event. Lieutenant General Brown, thank you for joining us this morning. Colleagues, for the next 8 hours, we are going to dive a little bit deep. I'm just kidding. My name is Mohammed Talas. I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the Vice President for Coleman College Health Sciences, the same college I graduated from back in 2003. Thank you. So, a brief introduction about who we are, what we do. Hopefully we can give you a glimpse of what we offer at Coleman College, what we call the jewel of Houston Community College. So if you heard the rumors, they are true. Coleman College is the jewel of HCC. So I just want to make sure put it out there. So thank you, everyone. So Coleman College is the only two-year institution that is located in the Texas Medical Center. We are the David that is versus 5 Goliath. Rice University, UT, University of Houston, University, Texas A&M, and Baylor College of Medicine. If this does not put a little bit of perspective to you, please let me know so we can have a little bit of a deeper of discussion. Under the leadership of Dr. Harrison last year also, our college president, Coleman College expanded, and we have a satellite that is located in the basement down here. What we offer at Coleman College, the programs we offer, these are the one what we call the care team that takes care of the entire aspect of the patient. For those who are familiar with Grey's Anatomy and all these awesome shows, it's not only about a nurse or a doctor, it's actually an entire healthcare system from point A to point Z, from the moment the patient hit that facility, the healthcare facility, until they leave. Most of our programs, most of them are located at the in the Texas Medical Center, and some of them, like I said, the satellite, we have few that are located over here. With some of these programs, we have a stackable degrees that started with this level 1 certificate, level 2, all the way to an associate degree. So everything that comes to mind, we have it. If you have any specific question, please reach out to me after this presentation. And we have a wonderful colleagues as well as student in the back there. So kudos to our student for being here. Please help me acknowledge them as well. All right, the degrees that we offer, OSA, which is roughly takes about a year, maybe a year and a half to complete, level 1 certificate, up to a year, level 2, maybe a year, year and a half, and then associate degree, which takes about 2 years to complete. Most importantly, Coleman College, the jewel of HCC, we offer a bachelor's degree in healthcare management. The reason why we offer this degree is to allow our student, the one who graduated, went into the field, they came back, and they want to expand their horizon. They want to move up the ladder. They want to be on the administration or the leadership. We give them this opportunity. All the graduate with an associate degree from Coleman College, they qualify to apply for this bachelor degree. We provide high quality education at a low cost, lesser than actually attending a 4-year university. And remember, Coleman College versus the 5 Goliath I mentioned earlier. All right. It is very critical to mention Houston Community College as a public institution. We are accredited by SAC-COC. This is our overall accrediting agency. It is very important to acknowledge that. In addition, the majority of our health science program, they have a third-party accreditation. The reason for that, upon completing one of our program, that will help you sit for a third-party certification, which is a requirement to work one of the field in the healthcare degree. All right. In addition, also we have the non-credit, the continuing education. These continuing education program, usually they are stationed around the city, and in most of every campus we have that belong to HCC. So if we don't have one of the program at the main campus, in the Texas Medical Center, you might be able to find it either on north side, south side, or west side. All right, the value proposition, what we can do. We can help you develop future-ready healthcare leaders. We can advance medical innovation for military operations, simulation-based training, because we have one of the best simulation lab that is located on the 10th floor at Coleman College. Building resilient medical ecosystem, strengthening communication and intelligence for seamless healthcare delivery on the battlefield, workforce pipeline for military healthcare officer and enlisted. Lieutenant General Brown, also through HCC, Coleman College for Health Sciences, you can have trained and ready multiplier force for the military and the healthcare. I hope I said it right. All right. All right. So, I know that was going to get me in trouble. What you saw, just a glimpse, not even the tip of the iceberg. So on behalf of Dr. Harrison, we would like to invite you specifically just to tour Coleman College for Health Sciences to see the latest lab technology we have, the expansion that we do. We're working on a very special project I'm not going to mention over here because I was told they are classified. As we all know, classified information cannot be shared. However, we would love to host you so you can see the potential for growth and opportunity. Also, Lieutenant General Brown, you mentioned earlier about sustainability and growth, and more likely that's really is going to get me in trouble. If you're looking to have a footprint in the Texas Medical Center, we have a 22,000 square foot, an empty shell floor. It has a potential for both of us to partner And imagine a big sign on the front of that building where it says HCC and U.S. Future Force Army. With that being stated, this is also the QR code that will lead to all the programs we have. You can dive a little bit deeper into that. And with that, I want to thank you for this opportunity.
I'm gonna wait till he sits down. Okay, medical students in the back, go ahead and stand up and applaud Dr. Salas. General Brown, we are well ahead of schedule, so this is going to work out nice. You ready? The value-added proposition is simple. We are Houston Community College, and what that really means is we have the capability and the capacity to support and augment everything across the 9 cross-functional areas that Army Futures Command does. We feel that we are prepared to do that for you, for your organization. We also believe that because of our diversity, our strength comes through our diversity. Our power, in this case, to empower our students as well as refine and rebuild our communities is strong. Houston Community College is the largest community college in the state of Texas and the 3rd largest in the United States. So we're doing pretty good. However, we could be doing better, and we think that this is the first step in that process. Next slide, please. Oh, I got it. Never mind. Based on everything that we've presented to you today, sir, based on our capabilities and our capacities, we think that this is an opportunity for us to collaborate as well as contribute to the Army's mission in the future. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I'd like to have Lieutenant General Brown come up and say a few words, and then we'll finish up with the civilian aid to the Secretary of the Army, Ms. Mira Trevino. General Brown?
Well, there's a lot of excitement in the room today. It's great. It's great to see y'all. And I appreciate the opportunity to hear from you all and all the different programs that are going, the different schools down here with Houston Community College. I joined the Army in 1989 in high school, joined the Army Reserve, and switched to the Guard in South Carolina. I'm from a little place south of Clemson, South Carolina. You probably never heard of it. I would tell you, but you'd never heard of it. And I was going to stay in the Guard, but I decided to go to a military school in South Carolina, the Citadel. And my professor of military science, my senior year, made a decision to put me on active duty. And it wasn't my decision. So I came on active duty and I stayed. So that was a long time ago. But in 2019, I was in Kandahar, Afghanistan, and I got orders to come to Fort Eustis to be a part of Army Futures Command. And then from there, I went and commanded all the labs and centers out of Aberdeen. And then I came to be the chief of staff. And then last November, took over as the deputy. So I've been at the outer rim of this experiment that we have. I'm getting, we're in we'll be in our 7th year this year. We started August 24th, 2018. But that was just the headquarters. The majority of the units in Army Futures Command, in some cases, are 200 years old. The Army is 250 years old this June. And some of the places that we have a center that builds rifles and munitions and does some amazing research and development. And that place is Picatinny Arsenal, New Jersey, which was built to make cannonballs in the Revolutionary War. So some of these places are pretty old and historical and have been around for a really, really long time. So the headquarters itself, Army Futures Command, is new, and we have 5 locations in Texas, all of them in and around Austin, 4 in Austin proper and 1 in Round Rock. We'll probably go to 4. I think we as we all return to work, I think there's probably some hoteling space and some things that we could probably do. But We talked a lot about cross-functional teams. Those teams are really focused on things that are lethal capabilities. The things that really are exciting to me for Houston Community College, as I was talking with Mr. Trevino earlier, is actually a DevCom and what we do inside Combat Capabilities Development Command, which has 28,000 people, 256 workforce competencies. So every engineering discipline, not as much on the health science side, but every engineering discipline and almost everything else that we talked about today, we have those folks and we hire those folks in DevCom. And so I'm excited to find out when your career fairs are and when those opportunities for us to have folks plugged in. In terms of the medical, we do quite a bit. We are plugged in at the spine with the University of Texas system, and we're plugged in at the spine with Texas A&M University system. And so there's lots of things that we can do as part of consortiums and things like that, and collaborative events moving forward. One of the other things that it was going around in my mind is maybe if you all have a projects day or some type of day where people present, especially some of the apprentices, maybe if they come back at a certain point in time and present what they learned and how they do this. We have projects day. We support projects days for many different universities around the country. Army Futures Command is through the Army Research Lab and the Army Research Office out of Raleigh, Research Triangle, North Carolina. We are doing research with all of the R1s, every one of them. I'm not sure we should be with all of them, but I'm working on that. We do with a lot of the R2s as well. Yesterday I visited A&M and Rice, and so that was the reasons for some of my questions about those programs. It's great that you have the programs where you have concurrent enrollment. That's fantastic. But a projects day, I think, would be a way for you to, especially when we talk about some of the internship programs and some of the other projects that people are working on. And given our students, for all our students out there, I think it's amazing when you get an opportunity to talk about what you've learned. I'm excited. I have 2 kids in college. My daughter goes to Baylor. My son's at West Point. And so they're always telling me about their classes. But what I really want to hear about are how they've learned how to solve problems. Because in the workforce, problem solving and troubleshooting is what matters the most. And in combat, that's what keeps you alive, is your ability to solve problems faster than the enemy. And so everything we can do to teach people how to troubleshoot, how to solve problems, not only makes them a better soldier or a better civilian in our military, because we have, that's the other thing, Army Futures Command is not primarily uniform. Sean and I are here from Army Futures Command, but we're actually 91% civilian. Just think about that for a minute, 91% civilian. So we have 2 deputies in this 4-star command, military deputy, 3-star. We have a civilian 3-star equivalent, what we call a civilian senior executive service, Joe Welch, and he is an electrical engineer, a master electrical engineer, and he works out of the Pentagon. And so we have a huge civilian workforce. And if you're watching the news and everything that's going on, that means we're in a state of transition because everybody who's a federal employee right now is in a state of transition. So we're taking care of the workforce. We're making sure we got people in the right place and we're doing the right work. But that is a big difference about Futures Command. For our lead engineer, we were talking earlier, we have all the engineers in the Army except for civil. And the only reason is, and I work with them all the time, but they work for Engineer Research and Development Center and the Corps of Engineers, dams, locks, bridges, things like that. So we just don't hire civil But it doesn't mean that we don't love civil. We don't hire them just because the Corps of Engineers has cornered the market. That's what they hire. But we hire everybody else. Mechanical, systems, electrical, all of it. And so I think that there's some extraordinary opportunities for us to work. I think the places that we start are the career fairs, the internships that you talked about. We have some great internship opportunities. Again, here in the 5 locations for Army Futures Command in Texas are not the scientist and engineer positions. Most of those are, I got a lot of lawyers, don't we all? Yeah, we got a lot of lawyers. We have a lot of human resources professionals. We have logistics management professionals. We have operations folks. We have planners. Anything that you would have to kind of run a headquarters, that's what we have here. But out in our subordinate units, we have extraordinary capability. And we also provide oversight. It's now part of the Defense Health Agency. So General Paula Lodi, she has about 4 bosses, but she's out of Fort Detrick, Maryland. And the Defense Health Agency does a lot of their research and development for the Joint Program Offices for medical acquisition, but the Medical Research and Development Command actually falls under Army Futures Command as well. So there are some opportunities to do some medical exchanges and things like that. But I think that that's probably the 2 places that we could begin. I think it's always important to think big, start small, and act fast. And so looking for the next academic year, where are the opportunities to maybe do a projects day or some career fair engagement right up front? And then, for really I think the one cross-functional team that I think would be helpful to plug in here is contested logistics. They're just right. They're closer to you than you think. They're in Huntsville, Alabama. But they do come down here quite a bit to talk to the energy companies and work through some of the opportunities with unmanned vehicles, cargo, UAS. Cargo UAS, think of something that is an unmanned aerial system that can pick up a 40-foot Connex that's loaded. I'm excited for those days. I'm ready for that right now, right? Let's do it. It would make that I wouldn't have to worry about wretch maintenance. I have something just come pick up a tank turret or maybe a tank and move it from one place to another without having to worry about maintenance. So, does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody? Oh, thanks. Does anybody have any questions for Sean? Sean, I can get Sean up here and make Sean answer questions, especially some of the students. I talk, every time I go to a university, I talk to the ROTC folks, almost every time. And every chance I get, I go back to high schools and talk. And usually the person that gets most of the questions is Sean, because he's closer to the problem set, right? They really don't want to listen to an old general. They want to listen to somebody who actually is living his best life. And Sean's got a lot of great days ahead. He's a great colleague of mine. We're real proud of him. He just made major. He's got 4 kids, lives in Kyle, Texas, and he's going to Fort Leavenworth this summer. Not because he's in trouble. He's going to school. So thanks very much.
Okay, one last thing, then I'll bring up CASA. I was really negligent in my responsibilities, right? So, Dr. LaShondra Jones, please stand up. Dr. Jones, get back up. Oh yeah, get back up. Dr. Jones works with the Houston Mayor's Office, Veterans Services and Military Affairs. She is, although we call her amongst a small group, -2, but she's really the one who runs that doggone department. So she is your go-to if you happen to be a veteran and need assistance in the city. And she's helped us out quite a bit in the last couple of years. Another individual, Dr. Michael Edwards. He is the ombudsman for HCC and was the president of Northeast College, and a lot of room for real estate to build some stuff out there, General. So it's like, all right, we're going to close this out. So I would like to bring up the civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, Miss Myrna Trevino. Now, whoa, hold it. Backstory: I've known Myrna for a long time because she sells insurance. She tried, and I successfully avoided buying insurance from her for a long time. But then when this opportunity came up to partner with the Army, she turned to me, I turned to her, and said, we can make this happen. HCC also happens to be designated a center of influence for Army here in the Houston region. And it's been an opportunity to not only help Lieutenant Colonel Sanchez meet her goals, but also Colonel Perez meet his goals, and provide influence, provide pathways, pipelines for our students to go into the military. And I'm an equal opportunity abuser, so I also work with the Navy and the Air Force and the Coast Guard and stuff like that. But the Army represents a tremendous pipeline for those of you who happen to be in medical careers and want to see the future and what that can do for you. And you saw me do this little experiment thing, right? But give it a consideration. Talk to these people, all right? And also understand that there are opportunities all around, and not being biased or anything else like that, the Army is probably the best organization you can work for, because the Marine Corps, we really do a good job of eating our own. But they are strong, they are capable, and like Lieutenant General Brown says, they are extremely durable. So with that being said, the CASA for Texas East, Ms. Myrna Trevino.
And it's now financial services, so y'all expanded. Thank you for your support and participation, General Brown, distinguished guests, community leaders, educators, Colonel Glover, HCC board members and staff, and friends of the United States Army. We are truly honored by your presence here today and grateful for your participation and your support. Events like this are essential in bridging the gap between our communities and the U.S. Army. I am privileged to serve as the civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, Texas East, in helping and fostering these connections. As CASAs, we act as force multipliers, linking our communities to the Army through recruitment, retention, and transition programs. The information shared today is vital. It provides our communities and students with a holistic view of the many pathways available, allowing them to make informed decisions about their future. And a well-informed applicant becomes a happy soldier, a strong Army family member, and a dedicated contributor to the nation's defense. I encourage you to share what you've learned today. It's one of the many ways we can strengthen our national security and commitment to service. This year, as someone has already mentioned, General Brown, you mentioned, is particularly special as we celebrate the 250th Army birthday on June the 14th. For 2.5 centuries, the Army has been a beacon of opportunity, offering pathways for personal and professional growth, leadership development, and a sense of purpose greater than oneself. With over 200 career options for soldiers and over 500 career paths for civilians, the Army provides a variety of opportunities that reflect the unique talents of its people and the nation they serve. Older than the nation itself, the U.S. Army has made a difference in the history and founding of America and the defense of her democratic values. As we celebrate this milestone, we honor the Army's legacy of strength, service, and limitless possibilities. Happy birthday to the U.S. Army, a symbol of honor, strength, and a commitment to service to our country. As we conclude this program, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the U.S. Army, Army Futures Command, and to the Houston Community College for their unwavering support. CCMR for all, be all you can be, this will defend.
So the Sean that General Brown referenced is Sean Lawson, captain. in the Army, they call it promotable, but he has been selected to become a major in the Army. And when we talk about school, he's going to Command and General Staff College at Fort Leavenworth campus this summer. So good luck. Have fun. General Brown, thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. Thank you for being here, and I've got you way ahead of schedule. So I know that Sean's going to be happy. Also, I've got quite a few students in the back and some instructors back there who'd love to spend some time with you and talk and exchange ideas and that kind of thing. And I think I fed them, so they should be really pumped up and ready to go. So again, thank you. Thank you all for coming. Please mingle. Got plenty of time, but have at it. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.